This story does not begin in a courtroom. It begins on a quiet farm in Oregon, a place millions of viewers believed represented family, honesty, and hard work. For more than a decade, Little People Big World sold the idea that love and perseverance could survive anything. Divorce, financial pressure, public scrutiny, even betrayal. But behind the pumpkin fields and smiling confessionals, something far darker was quietly unfolding. And when the truth finally surfaced, it sent shockwaves through fans who thought they knew everything. Because this time, Amy Roloff was not backing down. This time, the fight was not emotional. It was legal. It was financial. And it threatened to rewrite the legacy of Roloff Farms forever. What really happened between Amy Roloff, Matt Roloff, and Caryn Chandler? Was there a financial deception hiding in plain sight? And why do court documents suggest a $250,000 dispute that changed everything? This is not gossip. This is a deep dive. Amy Roloff was never supposed to be the quiet one. From the very first season, she was portrayed as the emotional backbone of the family. The mother who carried the weight. The woman who kept things together while Matt chased big ideas. Viewers watched her struggle. They watched her compromise. They watched her lose her marriage, her home, and eventually her place on the farm she helped build. What many did not realize at the time was that the divorce was only the beginning. When Amy and Matt separated, Roloff Farms was no longer just a family property. It became a battlefield. Every acre, every structure, every valuation number suddenly mattered. Amy believed she was entitled to a fair and transparent settlement. Matt believed he knew the value better than anyone. And somewhere in that gap between belief and reality, the seeds of this legal war were planted. According to publicly discussed filings and media reports, Amy later claimed that financial information presented during negotiations did not fully reflect the true value of shared assets. This was not about bitterness. This was about math. Property valuations, business income, long-term revenue potential. Amy had trusted the process. She trusted that numbers shown to her were accurate. She trusted that the man she built a life with would not hide the truth. But trust, once broken, does not heal quietly. As time passed, Amy began to question what she had signed away. And when independent reviews were reportedly conducted, the numbers no longer lined up with what she had been told. This is where Caryn Chandler enters the story. Caryn was not just Matt Roloff's partner. She had worked closely with Roloff Farms for years. She knew the operations, the finances, the behind-the-scenes details that cameras never showed. To fans, Caryn appeared supportive and calm. To Amy, she represented something else entirely. A reminder that decisions were being made without her. A symbol of power she no longer had access to. And when Amy finally took her concerns to court, the narrative shifted completely. This was no longer a divorce dispute. This was an alleged financial misrepresentation case. Court filings reportedly focused on whether Amy was given accurate disclosures during the sale of her share of the farm. The claim was simple but explosive. If the numbers were wrong, then the settlement was wrong. And if the settlement was wrong, then the law had something to say about it. The amount discussed in legal commentary was staggering. Around $250,000. Not emotional damages. Not symbolic compensation. Cold, calculated financial difference. That number alone explains why this fight mattered. Matt Roloff, long known for controlling the narrative, now faced a challenge he could not edit or spin. Courtrooms do not care about confessionals. Judges care about documents. And documents tell stories that television never does. As proceedings unfolded, fans noticed a shift. Matt became more defensive in interviews. Caryn more guarded. Amy more confident. Because for the first time in years, Amy was not reacting. She was leading. Legal analysts who reviewed the situation pointed out something crucial. Cases like this are rarely brought unless evidence suggests a meaningful discrepancy. Courts do not entertain vague feelings. They respond to numbers, timelines, and records. And when the reported outcome favored Amy, it sent a clear message. She was not imagining it. She was not being dramatic. She was right to question. The reported settlement or judgment validated what Amy had felt for years, that she had been pushed aside during one of the most important financial decisions of her life. For fans, this was a moment of reckoning. The man once portrayed as a visionary patriarch now looked careless at best, deceptive at worst. And Caryn, whether fairly or not, was pulled into the fallout. Not because she signed the papers, but because she was part of the system that benefited. This is where public opinion turned sharply. Social media exploded with commentary. Longtime viewers rewatched old episodes with new eyes. Scenes that once seemed harmless now felt uncomfortable. Private meetings, side conversations, decisions made off camera. Amy, once dismissed as emotional, was suddenly seen as restrained, measured, strategic, and perhaps most importantly, vindicated. This lawsuit did more than recover money. It recovered something Amy had lost long before the divorce. Her voice. For years, she had been portrayed as difficult, resistant to change, unable to move on. But now, facts supported what she had been saying all along, that transparency matters, that fairness is not optional, and that silence should never be mistaken for weakness. Matt and Caryn did not just lose a legal battle. They lost control of the story. Because once viewers see behind the curtain, the illusion never fully returns. Roloff Farm still stands. The show still exists in reruns and memory. But the tone has changed. This was never just about money. It was about respect. Amy did not destroy a family legacy. She exposed its cracks. And in doing so, she reminded millions watching that standing up for yourself does not make you the villain, even when it makes others uncomfortable. In the end, the most powerful moment was not a courtroom ruling or a dollar amount. It was Amy walking away knowing she finally told the truth. And the truth listened. If this story teaches us anything, it is this. Reality television may be edited, but reality itself always catches up. And when it does not need dramatic music. It just needs receipts.